So, what happens if you get in a car crash while you are a passenger in an Uber? It's something that happens all the time. We have clients that reach out to us about this situation every day. So, before we get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along so that you can protect your future personal injury case. Nobody ever expects themselves to be going through a personal injury situation. My name is Ethen Ostroff. I'm a personal injury lawyer outside of the Philadelphia area, and my goal is to provide you the best client experience possible, but also to educate everybody so they don't put themselves behind the eight ball in their personal injury case. So hit that subscribe button, follow along, and make sure that you subscribe and don't screw up your future personal injury case. So today, Uber, Lyft, rideshare car crash. You're a passenger. What do you do next? The first thing that happens, and that I want to make sure you understand, there really are two parties always involved if it is a multiple car crash, just like you got rear-ended or something like that, or if you just got in a crash just in that car, it's a one-party case. But the thing to understand that is most important is that Uber or Lyft is always going to be a part of this case. They are going to provide you enough insurance that your injuries will definitely get paid for. When you have a personal injury case, there are really two things that have to happen. Part one, liability. Liability means who is at fault, and if so, how much. When you're a passenger in a car, unless you do something egregious and mess with the driver, you're never at fault for a car crash. So instantly, we get past level one of your personal injury case if you're a passenger in a car crash. You move from liability to basically who's at fault. It's definitely not you if you're a passenger and you didn't do anything to cause the crash, like you didn't grab the driving wheel or you didn't distract the driver. Then you move directly to number two. Damages. How much is your pain and suffering worth? Now, let's say that you got rear-ended at a stop sign, the most common crash that happens, a rear-end accident. You would have potentially two sources of recovery. First, you would recover from the other driver that struck you. That is what's called the third-party aspect of the case. You first sue the other driver for any amount of money that they have available in their liability policy. And then second, Uber themselves has what's called a UM or UIM insurance policy, which stands for underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. Now, why is that important? Let's say that the other driver only is uninsured. Let's go with the extreme example. Let's say they have no insurance at all and they strike you in the back. And then, boom, uninsured driver hits you, no insurance from over there. But guess what? Uber is a big company. They make sure that you have enough insurance to cover for your personal injury case without even having that other driver involved. It's like getting hit by a tractor trailer. There's a ton of insurance available to you in these crashes. So you would actually be suing Uber for your injuries through, if it was an uninsured driver, uninsured motorist coverage, and in Pennsylvania in particular, you have $1 million available to you. In most states, there's a $1 million policy on Uber's insurance that you get the ability to tap into. So let's say you broke your arm, you broke your leg in this car crash, you got a pretty valuable personal injury case. That is not your fault. So you prove you're not at fault, then you move to damages. How much is the pain and suffering worth? And if there is not enough insurance from the other driver, you then would sue Uber or Lyft through this uninsured, underinsured policy. Just want to make sure you understand this. When you sue, your Uber driver is not going to pay you out of pocket. Now, let me repeat. You get hit by another driver from behind, then you were to tap into that Uber insurance policy. Whenever that driver is on the clock and giving you a ride, when that is tapped on, immediately the Uber insurance policy kicks in. So you do not need to worry about that driver seeing these bills because they will not see these bills. They get paid as if they are an employee of Uber when a crash happens. So you don't need to feel bad about suing Uber because you're not suing that driver. It's not that driver who's going to see these bills. It's not that driver who will answer to this case. It's Uber who would. Is it possible that the driver would be involved to just explain what happened? Of course. But just know you're kind of on the same team as that driver. That driver might have even gotten hurt and get access to this Uber policy. So you get hit from behind. You first go after that other insurance policy from that other driver. Then second, you're going to go after Uber's insurance policy. So you don't need to feel bad about bringing a personal injury case, especially when you're a passenger in an Uber case. Secondarily, let's say you got hurt and you have some medical bills. Uber has medical benefits available to you to use. So don't be scared to get treatment if you got hurt in a car crash. It's really important to go get checked out and know that you're not going to see those bills. Uber's going to pay for them out of that insurance policy. So if you have any questions about an Uber or Lyft or any sort of car crash where you were a passenger and you got hurt, I hope you never need to reach out to me, but click below where you can get a free case evaluation. I or a member of my team will hop on the phone with you and make sure that you understand everything you need to understand with your Uber crash case. But if you have any questions, hit that subscribe button. I make sure that you will understand how to protect your personal injury case. I hope you never need to hire me. I'm here for you if you do. Thanks so much for joining us today.